a state in Nigeria is making further moves to establish itself as a competitor to Lagos State, if I put it
Can we
like that.
not? Can we not do that? Let's just call them major tech hub.
Okay, trying to it's
Trying to become
working,
a major tech
trying to
hub.
become a major tech hub, and I'm talking about Anambra State. Bolu, can
Okay.
you give us details on that?
All right. Yeah. So basically, like you said, Anambra is trying to become a major tech hub in Nigeria, and which is laudable because we don't really have states that are trying to become tech hubs in the country. So what they are doing basically is partnering with 26 big tech companies to do this. So there was a meeting with the U.S. Consulate General in Lagos, with the Anambra State governor.
In Lagos. You see what I'm talking about. They had to come and do the meeting in Lagos. But
Um,
please, Bolu, continue.
well,
Sorry to
we'll
All
we'll
interrupt.
right.
talk about that later.
So the Anambra State governor, Chukwuma Charles Soludo, had the meeting and basically talked about the things to do, steps to take to help the states become, like we
Tech
said,
up.
a tech hub. So one of the partnerships, I think a few of them was mentioned. What those partnerships will look like. So there's going to be one with Amazon Web Services, and Amazon Web Services will help Anambra State transform its digital health and education systems, right? And then there's another with Dell and HP, where they will provide discounts on technical support for like purchasing devices, laptops, things like that. And then Google will help SMEs improve their digital presence, right? And then we also have Meta, oh, formerly known as Facebook, will help them expand collaboration in the states, right? Help them also collaborate with other big players, right, in the global tech ecosystem. So that's basically what
I have
Anambas
a
is trying to do.
I
Before,
have a hot take on this.
Okay.
okay,
This was an unnecessary partnership.
okay,
And why do I say it's an unnecessary partnership? Everybody you've called here have some sort of local alternative. So if you want to be a major tech hub, you don't exactly need a Facebook partnership or a Meta partnership or an AWS partnership or even a Google partnership. Yes, you do not. You cannot. We use this word leapfrog a lot in tech, but you can't leapfrog basic steps. If you get 9 women pregnant in a month, you will not have a baby by the end of that month. You must wait 9 months to have that child. So I think these are unnecessary partnerships. And for example, you want to digitize health services, right? We are not lacking health tech startups in Nigeria or
yeah, but
even in Africa.
okay,
We are not lacking health tech startups who are doing this. We have Helium Health that does something similar. If you look very closely, you would also find other startups. You want to digitize SMEs, right? We have a bumper who already operates in Nigeria, has, I believe or I hope, better understanding of operating with SMEs than a Meta would do in Africa. What else do you want to do? You have a Google partnership to. What's the Google partnership for?
Digital presence.
Okay, digital presence. Do we really need a Google partnership to boost digital presence? No, you do not.
so
There are actually.
I think maybe we will not call it unnecessary.
I will
I
call it
think
unnecessary. You people can
I
decide not to,
I
but I
think
will
it's
call it
something that has to
unnecessary.
go side by side. For instance, digitizing the healthcare and educational this thing, like with AWS kind of makes sense. Like just this week we've been having conversations about um how challenging it has been for startups to fulfill their or to pay their AWS.
How does an Anambra solve that problem?
Like okay, so you
So
want to
can I?
digitize for
That's a bigger
instance now.
macroeconomic problem. You don't make money in dollars, so except
So
you
if
can.
AWS is coming in with credit
Mhm. How
for
much credit can they
Let,
possibly
can I
give
say
you?
something, please? So I don't think it is a. Um, I don't think it's unnecessary, but I think it is not necessary now. I think
Potato,
the
potatoes.
so what's if you look at I mean one of the major tech hubs we have in Nigeria is Lagos. If you look at how, which I think was just because Lagos was already like what do we call it, like a business hub already. So it made sense that the major tech hub in the country will come from a place like that. But then you now notice that it only happened because there were it attracted tech talents. It attracted people who wanted to like go into tech, build tech businesses, which I think is what
That's the foundation I'm
Anambra
talking
State
about.
should be doing, right? Try and attract those people. Let them come, let the place, because I think really, because if you look at Lagos now, you have I think a lot of other states in the country have a lot of leverage to attract those, those people. You can do, let there be internet, right?
Anyone,
Let
more
things like
people.
that, right? Because when
So
you look at Lagos too, it was those things that,
that attracted
yeah.
people.
So
So maybe it's a posturing.
Let's use something. Yeah, it could be posturing.
Yeah.
Let's paint a very clear example. You want to use Lagos, right? Good. Lagos did not start out. They didn't become a tech hub by partnering with Google.
exactly.
There was a CC hub, and there were several other
There were
smaller
local
startups.
talents
There were
there that
partnerships with what do you call them?
anyone
Telecommunication providers
Yeah.
who made internet
internet
access
access.
easier and
Yeah.
in some ways cheaper. Now, Anambra State said they were cutting right of way charges last year. We don't know how much of that. I know Emmanuel started a conversation about whether that's even what we should be focusing on. But if you want to do this, you cannot jump processes. Make it easier. Now, like you mentioned, states that are not Lagos, Abuja, and maybe Port Harcourt have a significant advantage.
Yeah.
Cost of living is cheaper,
Exactly.
right? I can get a very good house for 300,000 naira in most cities. That's something that could make someone decide, okay, I don't want to be in Lagos. But beyond that, you also have a core that you can start building. I know a few people who are building like either tech communities or they are building tech startups in Anambra. What are you doing with those people? Yes, I'm not saying Anambra is not doing this, but it's kind of you jumping the gun to you've not built out your own tech, your local tech ecosystem,
They
and
are
now
doing
you're
it,
looking
sha.
for big. Yeah, they are, but are we seeing
So
results? Because
The
you
government
you cannot
sponsored-
do everything.
sponsored
Oh please, you sponsor someone to TechCrunch,
Battlefield.
Battlefield. How does that help us? But
it's,
really,
it's still a step. So I think, okay, fine.
well,
Going for the big names might not be the exact move, but to an extent, it might be putting out what's it, a name for Anambra
I
State.
wonder
Yeah,
how much.
the poster
we
into
will
is
check.
the PR
Yes.
too is necessary.
So
too.
Oh,
we
please.
will see how it goes. If since it's a like a continuing
You have a
con-
former CBN governor
continue
looking for PR.
is an ongoing process. You get the state adopted startup act,
Yeah.
and then they went on to cut right of way charges. And I know it's an ongoing process. So if this is part of it and there's still more to add, it seems they are quite active in making the state a major tech hub.
We
So
want to
it's
see
a
doings.
matter of time, and we'll get
We'll see
back
it,
to
don't
that
worry.
and check how they are doing.
Two
And
things we want to check now. In Yaboyeji's that one's after 9 years. I mean, how
Yeah.
many years are we taking this?
let's give this one 1 year.
Okay.
1 year.
One
So,
year.
yes.
You will not say anything in 1 year.
No, 1
too.
year is
No,
too
no, no.
small.
Okay, I'm not talking about like make it becoming a major tech hub. Like how many startups are springing up from the place
So you cannot do that in 1 year.
in 1 year?
Yeah.
Like we will not see
People need to
events.
think of ideas. They need to go work
They
on
need
those
to
ideas. They
build.
need to go
I'm-
build these solutions.
Okay,
There are tech startups in Anambra
so
State.
let's continue this conversation.
In the
Off
comment
camera.
section.
In the comment
Yes.
section, online, on our social media platforms. You can even send us an email at podcast.techpoint.africa.
To listen to the full episode of this podcast, go to podcast.techpoint.africa or click the link in bio or just click the link shown on your screen right now. You can find the full episode on Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or anywhere else you get your podcast.